Guess we're making this a two-part season finale. Once we're done, I'll be taking a step back from the show to focus on game development. But until then, let's begin with another chapter of Chakrabot. A note before we start, right after I posted my first chapter video to Patreon, the Game Awards announced a sequel to Okami. It was just good timing with how I'm looking at a webcomic that was inspired by that game, and I'm sure Arvin's happy about that. And with how I reviewed Chapter 1, it seems only fair that I take time to do more because we have a few introductions in order. Because this cover has more than just canines, it has felines. Or a feline, but in all seriousness, I imagine whatever conflict there is involves that tree in the background. We open with some canids being chased by other canids led by a lynx. Interesting dynamic. The Doberman is named Dagger, while the lynx that captures the black and white dog is named Red. I don't expect much from animals naming each other. He's apparently looking for some sword which the page description implies is from Okami, though that doesn't narrow things down. But before Red can kill any of them, he gets interrupted by Sai and Led, now with wolves of their own. Here come the heroes, the chapter title says. But who are they? They're called the Chakra Heroes, but what happened before this point? The two sides begin to clash, and Led has the power of vibrations, which allows him to cause earthquakes. Another wolf, Orca, bites into Dagger, and her slobber seems to be related to her water ability. I'm starting to see more of the chakra elements being used, especially since Cheetah, who is just colored like one, has the power of electricity. Not that he uses it, because he's too busy fawning over Dagger, who is still much bigger than him. Will you marry me? Screw you, furball.
Rejected! Better luck next time!
Fine, I'll buy you a hairdryer next time. So you mean humans exist? Let's not think about that yet. The wolf with wings is named Moltel, and her ability to fly is based around her power of air. This big wolf, Kuma, has the power of fire. We have characters who use the powers of earth, fire, wind, and water. If we count Sai's telekinesis as akin to the power of heart, then that means...
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Captain Planet, he's our hero.
Though to be fair, these guys seem more competent with their powers than the Planeteers. Sai warns Red to back off, and he orders everyone to retreat. I suppose that beats death, though I kinda expected a little bit more if they were on the cover page. And apparently, this is their last appearance. Sai goes to the three wolves her team saved, and Moltil shows she can heal with her air power. The rest of our heroes introduce themselves, including the one wolf who we didn't see do anything, called Hilo, who has power over ice. The three rescued wolves are Inabe, Fury, and Futatsu. Red was chasing them to steal the sword they were looking for, called the Destiny Sword. It's said to carry the power of the gods and can steal the spirit of anyone it stabs, and Inabe and crew only know about it because he is a prophet who can see visions. When one warns him about a demonic being that threatened to take the sword, he went to intercept it before it can find it, and according to the vision, it's in the deepest of depths. Man, does that guy ever shut up? No wonder that yellow fellow of his looks so bored. It must be fun at parties. Fury then has the bright idea of letting the Chakra Heroes look for the sword. Besides them having the powers to protect themselves, she also sees a resemblance between Sai and a spirit of time named Shiva. And as the description says, the true story begins now. You know, I was kind of expecting a flashback to show how the Chakra Heroes got together, but nope! I suppose that's akin to how stories tend to introduce multiple characters at once to set a status quo before diving into their various origin stories down the line. I don't know if we'll see that in the future, but anyway, back to the plot. Orca is unsure about finding the Sword of Destiny, but Cheetah, acting like Sanji, thinks they should, if only because he's acting on hormones. He even drops a saying from France, which proves that human countries exist in this story. Anyway, the plan is for everyone to meet up again in 4 days. At night, our heroes discuss the meaning of Inabe's vision. They wondered where the deepest of depths is, but Led knows exactly where to look. Konohana Island, because it apparently has a cave system that goes down past the water. It's also where that tree from the cover is at, so they swim over, much to Cheetah's dismay, and we learn that the tree is a guardian sapling. It's meant to protect those who live here. And, Cheetah, are you sure you're not actually a cat? You have a tail that wolves typically don't have, and you're literally cleaning yourself like a cat would. Anyway, he spots the cavern that our heroes need to reach, and Kuma lights the way with his powers before hitting a fork in the road. Sai realizes that someone else must be here and goes on ahead. She comes across an old statue that looks exactly like the wolf that appeared to her near the end of the last chapter. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to show this, but before rejoining Led and his friends, she saw this spirit across from the beach. This apparently was a shrine with the name Shiranui on the plaque. As Molto investigates it, her powers seem to fix the statue and cause the Destiny Sword to appear. So, the power of air is just Crazy Diamond from JoJo. I'm sure repairing broken objects should be incredibly useful going forward. Cheetah brags about how his decision to come here was a good thing, despite the fact he nearly got them lost. Yeah, we need one jokester on the team, though I kinda wished there was more to him. However, someone else shows up behind them. Chakra Heroes. The worst is yet to come.
Dun dun dun.
OMG, what a cliffhanger! Yeah, but this one isn't as good as the first chapter. Again, we have a bunch of new characters to introduce without getting into how they met each other or agreed to team up with. When did Led get his new Earth powers? And when did he and Sai find those other wolves? I think that could be a topic for a chapter by itself, if not more than that, which can better set up this moment where they end up with this incredibly dangerous quest. And considering we have 6 chapters of this story, I really have to wonder how things will play out to at least address team dynamics and origin stories. Or maybe we'll be picking up where we left off while backstories only show up as needed. There's still time for things to improve, and with how long this series took to finish, at some point we'll find growing gaps between releases that result in better art and writing. But that's something for me to keep an eye on if I come back to this series, especially since there are other things I want to go over. But for now, stay tuned for part 2, because it's time for my show to come full circle, with a movie directly tied to one of the first things I ever reviewed.